We are ready. Number 27.
Are we live?
We are live.
Already live. Look
We're
at
already
that.
live.
You got to warn me about this, Ryan, before I start saying things that could get me in trouble.
We start spilling all the tea.
If people only heard what we say before it starts recording.
Yeah, 30 seconds before that we would have been in.
It's good stuff. Well,
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. So we're going to start off with... Wait, what episode is this? This is...
27.
27. I like that number.
Yeah, it's a good number.
It is a good number. So we're going to talk about cash today. Well, we keep also talking about recurring clickbaity negative articles in the press about Miami and South Florida.
Yeah.
And there's one that I saw recently. It was the Wall Street Journal again, of all things, talking about froth and bubbles. We use the word froth,
Yeah.
froth, bubbles. And the question arises: how does one define a bubble, and what causes bubbles to inflate? And it's important to keep in mind that bubbles are almost always the result of irresponsible usage of easy credit. They're built on debt. And then when the asset class pops, it's because the underlying asset can no longer sustain the debt load. And we get this sort of apocalyptic steep decline in values.
2008.
Right.
Yeah.
And then in retrospect, we define said phenomena as a bubble after it popped.
Yes.
But you need these conditions. In the pop, the descent needs to be possible. It's a house of cards that folds, basically. So I see these headlines about froth, bubbles, and so forth, and I find them a bit irresponsible because all they do is they mention rising values.
Yes.
But they don't actually dig into the underlying fundamentals of the market. And if they were to do so, they would see that they in no way resemble that last cycle.
Yeah.
Because this market was built upon cash to a shocking degree.
I think Miami has been built on cash since the last cycle.
Correct. Absolutely. And then also, I'm going to point out also that nationwide, there's a very low percentage of people using adjustable rate mortgages, which is also the reverse setup to the previous cycle.
I think that's good.
Correct. And then also nationwide, there's been all this data coming out showing that something like 39, almost 40% of houses are owned outright with no mortgage nationwide.
Yeah.
So there's a real floor on this market, a national level, and then on a local level. It is not some crazy debt-fueled thing nationally or here. But when we dig into here, the numbers are really quite shocking. I mean, I broke them up most recently in a report that I did. Everybody could find it at analytics.miami. I did it by county, and then I also did it by price points and by prices per square foot.
Okay.
And prices per square foot is where it gets interesting, because as I keep pointing out, the higher you go in price per square foot, the shockingly more all cash it is. But even starting at very normal levels, so below 500,000, this is South Florida, so aggregate Palm Beach County, Broward County, Miami-Dade County. Below 500,000, single-family homes are 31% cash, and condos are 51% cash.
Okay.
And then that trends up. When we get to 1 million to 5 million, single-family was 51% cash, condos 77% cash. 5 million plus, single-family 84, condos 88% all cash.
Wow.
Yep. And now if we go on a price per square foot basis, it gets even more interesting. Looking at condos, so for all of South Florida, again, Tri-County, 2,000 and up per square foot is 84% all cash. 1 to 2 is 83. Single family, 88 and 76. Same thing. Palm Beach is leading the way. Palm Beach condos past 2,000 a square foot, 94% all cash. And 1 to 2,000 a square foot, 91% all cash. So the market is heavily cash the whole way through. And the higher up you get, the shockingly higher it is in terms of all cash buying percentages.
I think there might be some bias in there from outsiders that because Miami was so front and center the last thing that, and it was The Big Short, it had it in
all
there.
Of that cocaine cowboys.
Yeah. So I think that the whole everyone that did ninja loans and all of that, I think that was very front and center in Miami. So I think they still think that exists.
They want to think there's still a boom bust phenomenon going on.
Yeah.
And I get it. It's a past association, but that's not it. And then, meanwhile, in addition to these high all-cash levels, we have inventory levels that are below pre-COVID across the board, to varying degrees, depending how you segment, but across the board, below COVID.
Yeah.
So this is not a bubble setup at all.
Interesting.
And now, if anything, because the segments of the market that had the lowest all-cash usage were single-family below $1 million. Okay. So if anything, this decrease in the interest rates will help that segment of the market, because that segment saw the rapid disappearance of inventory. Single family below the median price point, inventory is down well over 80% Tri-County. So if anything, it'll free up some much needed inventory, because the single family home market is extremely tight. So it might actually help that market segment.
Yeah, and also with the Fed starting to cut rates, that'll probably help as well.
That's what I mean. Yeah, correct. Yeah, exactly. So it's a good thing. It's a great thing. And again, the high end, 80-90% all cash. This rise in our market was fueled by cash, not debt. That is the very, very important distinction to make from this time and last time.
Yeah.
Inventory levels actually have not kept up with the increases of demand.
And I think it's interesting because the cash financing thing sort of goes both on the developer side and on the purchaser side, because if you remember 2008, Related Group lost Icon Brickell to the lenders. They gave it back before it was even completed, and I think there was a couple other ones along those lines too. And you just don't see that anymore.
No, it's been tighter on everybody.
Yeah,
correct. It's a whole different setup.
I think there might be, I won't say a bubble, but there might be some slight issues still coming forward with commercial real estate. There might be some bumps along the road there. There's been some foreclosures and that, but
loans
as far
resetting, all sorts of things.
Yeah. But I think a lot of that just has to do with the fact that money was free and then it wasn't anymore.
Correct.
And people made some poor decisions with structuring financing.
Correct.
So I think it's just less drama all around, which is great.
And again, the high end is just I keep talking about single family prime parcels having inherent scarcity built in.
Yeah.
Now I think that's really such a great buy for the next 5 to 10 years as the region grows. There was an article, it was in the news this week, a parcel, the most expensive sale now in Miami-Dade County so far this year it was 2 lots on Lagorce for $100 million, or was it 2 or 3 lots?
Wow.
And then there's a 4th lot that's under contract that I think it's an affiliated entity for $24 million. So it keeps continuing.
Well, also I read, I don't remember the names, but I keep reading stories in The Real Deal because they love covering those things. Of just people buying lots and buildings in Miami Beach and the Venetian Islands and Star and Palm Island that are just completely insane numbers. I mean, $20 million, $30 million plus for
land,
for waterfront land, and it's just. Yeah, there's no signs of it slowing down.
Nope, you can't build more vertically, as I keep saying on that segment.
I feel like you need to get that on a T-shirt.
I know, you can't build more vertically.
You can't build more vertically.
And then to that end of the people buying second homes, there's a report this week from Henley and Partners. I found they're an industry leader in residences and citizenship investments, right? So they help people with a lot of money, I think, find other places to reside or get passports or something to that effect. And they keep track of the movement of ultra high net worth individuals.
Our favorite people. Our favorite people.
And they have a report on centimillionaires, people with over $100 million. And they found that Miami is the top destination for them for second, third homeowners. And they had these great charts showing actually listing what's it called? Top destinations for ultra high net worth people. Sorry, we were among the top. I think we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then in this list of the top 12, whatever it was, we have Palm Beach is number 2, Naples is in there, Palm Beach is in there. Like there were 4 or 5 places in Florida within the top 15.
Wow.
Correct.
It's crazy.
Exactly. And we were projected to be one of the leaders for growth moving forward for the next 10 years of destination points for centimillionaires. So word got out. That's the trend I keep talking about. It's the global wealth polarization, national wealth polarization, and then people relocating themselves and their money.
Yeah, I mean, I think Miami has the same sort of effect in the U.S. that does in Latin America. Like whenever there is less than optimal environments, people take the money out of where there is less optimal and put it in an optimal environment. And because of Miami's generalized setup, we just tend to be optimal all the time.
Correct.
We have our own problems, but it tends to be a very safe place for money.
Correct.
And even with all the crises, the old condos, the insurance, whatever, it's like when you're that cash rich, none of that really matters.
It doesn't matter. It's like the interest rate didn't matter. It was fueled by cash.
Yeah.
The buying at the high end was cash driven, and those crazy spikes we had in transaction volume past high prices per square foot happened during a period of very high interest rates because they're paying cash.
Yeah. And at that point, you're that rich, and the insurance and HOA doesn't really doesn't matter.
It's less relevant, yeah, much less.
So, I don't know. There's still things. I was pulling up some stuff here. There's a store, where to go. Just yesterday, they sold the shops at Midtown Miami, which is like the Target and everything in Midtown. Wait, where is it? It doesn't say. Well, it doesn't say what the amount of money was, but it was a lot. Midtown Miami, that part of it is literally just the part along North Miami Ave that is like the shops and retail, nothing else. And it sold for a couple $100 million.
Yep.
In a time when malls and retail places are not doing very well.
Correct.
So
Yep.
It's good stuff. And then there was another story in there that was, where'd it go? Just like something interesting, like Emirates bringing new business class seats to Miami.
See?
Talk about wealth.
Correct.
real wealth.
Exactly.
It's just, I did a video series. You guys may have seen it after our last podcast about the mega projects that are happening in Miami-Dade, from Aventura down to very far south, and the sheer amount of them is just like wild.
It's a whole lot of capital deployed.
It's a whole lot of capital, and these are huge projects. Like, I mean, $1 billion. Some of them are over $1 billion.
Yep, it's all very optimistic for the future of the region.
Yeah,
it's really what I see as numbers about wealth migration and these top 10 lists. And again, they list the Palm Beach area and they list Miami separately.
Yeah.
If we think of it as one aggregate region, it added up, it basically surpasses any other individual place. It's kind of this aggregate region that's just attracting wealth.
Yeah.
Some people prefer Palm Beach, some people prefer Miami-Dade, but it's like a regional attraction.
Yeah, we're definitely what do you call it? A mega region. And I think there's been so many changes recently that have helped that with like Brightline and
I was just gonna say, correct.
Yeah, Brightline and West Palm Beach becoming like a center for hedge funds and all of that. I mean, if you look at it, and I've said this since 2017, is that the Tri-County area really has the potential to be the San Francisco to San Jose of the South.
Yep, correct.
In an insane setup where, like, Miami would be San Francisco without the the insaneness, and then West Palm Beach.
Without the open air drug markets.
Yes, that's what I was trying to say. Yeah, and then West Palm Beach would be San Jose, and it's a perfect setup for that. Like,
it is.
And we're also very YIMBY here, so we want to build. We have improving transportation, not perfect, but improving. And so, you can very easily live in Miami or West Palm Beach and super commute between them on Brightline.
It's not that far at all.
Yeah.
And Brightline's quite nice.
And then when you get to, Miami or West Palm Beach, there's connections there that can take you all the places. So it's like, the region has gotten bigger, but it's also really shrunk at the same time, and in a good way.
We're increasing connectivity as we grow.
Yeah. So to me, that's a good thing. Every day there's new airlines are coming in. They're creating new routes. Like, it's just the overall growth. And I don't say that because I'm just an insane booster for Miami, which I am. But it's also like.
But it's also true.
It's
Both
true. The
things can
data,
be true.
yeah, like the data points are there.
It does. The airport's growing.
Yeah.
Correct. Absolutely.
So it's like, I may be a little enthusiastic about it, but the data points are there.
Correct. I mean, you're drinking your own Kool-Aid. You like it here. I do too.
I was standing at Bayfront Park last night because it was nice out after. Cause
it was nice last night.
It was so hot during the day, but it was very nice at night. And I was sitting in Bayfront Park, and I've been here for just about 8 years now. And I was sitting there, and I was like, I don't like Miami any less after 8 years. Even after everything I've done and stuff that I've been through, I don't like it any less.
I like it more. Actually.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Like, and that have someone who has ADD and gets bored very easily. Like, when I'm bored with something, I move on very quickly.
Same.
So the fact that I still like the city and everything about it 8 years later.
I think it gets better all the time.
Yeah. And, it's my famous saying. I need to get this on a t-shirt. Like, in Miami, things feel possible. In all
There's
sort of
optimism, I would say.
In optimism. And I always want to preface because, I know we have our problems and there's issues, but like, in general.
I think it's that feeling when people know that the best days of the city are ahead of them, and they're not behind them.
Yes.
I think that's the difference.
And it's not like, the superstar cities like New York and LA and San Francisco, like, they're still going to be doing things forever.
Of course, yeah.
But the peak best days of it are behind it.
That's a different feeling.
Yeah.
That's a very different feeling.
Yeah.
I saw a funny snippet. Who was it? It was on Instagram today. It was an old snippet of Gwyneth Paltrow on some talk show talking about how great New York was in the 90s because you could do coke and no one could take a video of you. She said you could dance on the tables, no one had its market. But it was like a funny tongue-in-cheek thing.
Yes.
But then she was right. I mean, I was a teenager, but I remember New York in the 90s. And there was this feeling, a very distinct feeling that was the place.
Yes.
In a way that was like peak New York. It really was.
Yeah.
And that feeling, again, not to disparage, things will always happen there. It's like what I'm saying, things will always happen in London, but it's no longer the capital of the world.
Yeah.
There's this passing of that feeling that it's peak.
For me, like I said, I'm very futurist, very optimistic. And one of the things that just I have to feel in order to like something is I have to feel like something is happening, like it's something good is going to happen in the future. Mm-hmm. That's what I have to. It's a non-negotiable. Mm-hmm. If I'm somewhere that feels like it's cycling down, that very much affects me.
Yep.
Just in my life in general.
Same.
And Miami feels like it's cycling up.
100%.
So to me, that's how I feel about the city. That's why I'm very passionate about it, because I want to be a part of that.
That's kind of what we mean by long Miami, because you're giving it's a bet on the future.
Yeah.
That something has upside.
And I think people get distracted by these mini cycles or mini bust and booms, crypto and I don't know, AI, what now? But there will always be like micro, I don't want to call them bubbles, but trends. Like there'll be micro trends in any city. It's the same thing when people, they say, oh, San Francisco's back. And they're talking about AI.
We're talking about like 4 blocks that
4
have
blocks
AI
of it. Yeah. Like where open AI is.
I'm happy for them. It's great.
It is. But I said this before in podcasts. It's like, that'd be like, if Wynwood was doing fabulous and the rest of the place
was an open air drug market.
Yes.
Not to exaggerate, but.
And that's what I mean. It's like, wherever I go in Miami, at least in the areas that I'm in, the beach and greater downtown and Brickell and all that, everywhere feels like it's on the upswing. Mm-hmm. It's not getting worse. It's getting better.
I agree. That's a real feeling in the air.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. And, I do my scooter tours around. And I did one last night, and I was just looking, and everywhere was just on the upswing. There was cranes everywhere. Stuff was being developed.
It's not normal to see that many cranes in a city today in America.
Yeah.
Like, at all.
Yep.
We've normalized it here. We walk around everywhere. There's cranes. I sent Ryan this video a few weeks ago. What was it? I was looking out of the Gale residences, and I'm like, this corner, this 2 blocks, has something like 4,000 units coming the next few, like really, truly, in the next few years. That's not a typical experience in an American downtown today.
Yeah, no,
at all,
no,
at all. One of them, let alone the collection of 5, on that corner.
I know. I would bet you that piece of 6th Street probably has more units under construction than most major cities in the entire
United States. In Yes.
Just one segment.
It's incredible.
And that it's helping. We as you always say, we had some of the highest rent increases in the country, in the nation, in history over like a 2-year period. Mm-hmm. And it's not good for anyone. So it's like the fact that we are developing like it's going out of style is great, and it's helping.
Mm-hmm. It is helping.
Yeah. And, we've said this before, but, Miami is developing every level of product. I saw one of my friends sent me a thing last week that they finished demolishing 1809 Brickell Ave, so they can start building St. Regis now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Correct. That's right.
And, I think it's interesting because Miami's in this interesting super cycle sort of thing where we're still building stuff from the last cycle, and then we're getting ready to launch into the next one. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure it's ever happened because Miami before was a boom and bust.
Yeah, there was no reset of any sort.
Everything finished and then there was 6 years of downtime. We are we're delivering products and they're setting up the next cycle now.
Correct. 100%.
So you have the St. Regis, you have Santander that's going to be building their thing. They're demolishing that. You have Citadel coming in. So it's the next cycle is happening before our eyes, even before we're totally out of the last one.
It's on top of it.
Yeah.
It's the next layer.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, that is new, I think.
It is new. It's like the city keeps sort of rising in stature and the layers are going on top of each other.
Because, if you look at the last really big cycle, 2008, you could see where it ended. They built Marina Blue and Marquise and...
Oh, there was a distinct end.
There was an end. There was an end, and then nothing got built until 2015.
Yes.
Or so.
Yes, it needed time.
Here, we're just sort of skipping over the downturn part, and we're just going for it.
It's kind of amazing.
Yeah. Yeah,
It makes me happy.
I am, and I'm proud of the city, and, listen, I know people think, like I said, I'm some insane fanboy of Miami, and that is true. But I do call out the things that I see that are failing, infrastructure or
whatever. You do.
And
developers you don't like.
So but anyways, I was looking at Bayfront Park. That's where I was, and they're redoing the fountain there. That fountain has not worked since like 2005, which is a total failure of on its own. But it's in progress now. Like they're doing the concrete work, and it's
that's a great thing.
Yeah, they're actually doing it, and I think that makes me happy.
The footbridge in South Beach is actually happening across the causeway.
Oh, really?
The ramp is done.
Okay.
It's coming.
Yeah. Is there any sort of timeline on that?
Soon, very soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be great because West Ave has been sort of
going to connect those two areas. Yep.
Been cut off. And then I was back to my scooter tour. I was going on Edgewater, and there's listen, there's so many projects that my brain, I can only focus on like the prestige ones that are like.
There's so many.
There's so many, and I was looking at one on Edgewater. It was called Sense Edgewater. It's like
I've not heard of this.
Yeah, it's like a random multifamily right there in 27th or 28th, and it's just happening. It's like just it's not I think it's like 15 stories or something. Nothing insane, but it's happening. And then next door, you have Villa Miami and Cove Miami, and there's just, anyways, it's just.
Have you heard of this topic of things I didn't know were happening? 7,500 units.
Wow. Oh, is that in West Little River?
West Little River. Developer moves forward with plans for 7,500 mixed-use development unit project and a new tri-rail station in Miami's Little River District. Swerdlow Group, led by veteran developer Michael Swerdlow. Over 63 acres will include 7,500 residential units combining affordable workforce and market rate housing.
Yeah. And just so you're aware, I looked at that, and that is like West Little River.
It is far west.
Far.
I looked at the map.
It's
I know.
To me, West Little River is by 95. No, this is out there.
And they cite a study that actually I've read in the past that sort of calculates that we're short 90,000 units for renters.
That makes sense. Yeah. And also, that's not including that other project out in the generalized area. The one that wants to do 6,000 units.
Pablo Castro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Correct.
That's there too.
6,000, yeah.
Yeah, 6,000 units.
It's going to be almost 14,000 units there.
That's just that.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, and I feel like me and you, because we're immersed in that, we sort of just forget, when you're, it's like when you're dealing with a lot of money. You just sort of, numbers just stop making sense. When you stop and look at it in sort of by itself, you're just like, that's
a lot of units.
That's intense. It's the same effect as, looking at 6th Street.
Every time I look at it, I'm like, oh my God.
Did you go there this week?
I was there this week, correct. I'm not sure if I went to the exact window again, but I had breakfast there this week.
Nice. Yeah, it's and then also if you go west on 6th Street, they're about to deliver the Target and the Aldi and the Burlington Coat Factory and then all the affordable senior residences. The Target is this close to opening. I'm like, yes. But I'm more excited about Aldi over there.
Oh, yeah. That's exciting.
It's exciting. But it's there, and then across the street, there's Atlantic Station, which is a mixed income. It's both workforce and market rate.
This is great.
And then across the street from there, there's the Hub, or Hub Residences, Miami. Yeah. That's B&H and...
That's a short-term rental project.
Someone else. And it's just crazy. It's
good stuff, everyone.
Yeah, it really is. There was something else. What else was there?
And today the quarter closes out today, so I'm going to be putting out my Q1 report in about a week.
Okay.
We're going to see what's happening. And I'm speaking at the Real Estate Congress. Oh my God, I'm going to mess up the name of the event. Hold on, everyone. I'm going to get in trouble now. It's November 1st through 3rd. No. Hold on. Yes, I'm speaking at the Miami Global Real Estate Congress, November 3rd through 5th.
Okay.
I'm listed as a keynote speaker. That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Craig Stradinky will be there, ISD Report, Mayor Suarez. It's going to be a good time.
Nice.
I do have Pan American Championships right before that.
You're going to be tired.
And then I have them, so I don't know which day I'm competing. They haven't announced it yet.
Okay.
But I have to be in Dallas, Texas. These are weekdays. So the weekend right before, I have to be in Dallas, Texas for the Pan American Championships. Then I have this. And then the following weekend, so 3 or 4 days after this, I have the Miami ADCC Open competition.
Nice. Where is that?
I don't know, somewhere in Miami. Who cares? It's local. The address doesn't matter. I'll be there, but that's going to be an interesting week. And I won't be able to eat because I have to make weight for ADCC.
I could never. I could never. So two other interesting things here. The Brightline is going to be massively increasing their capacity.
Okay.
Because they're at capacity.
Which is amazing.
Yeah. And like I said, for a train to be at capacity, so far in 2024, around 30% of trains have been completely full on weekends and holidays. And the company regularly sees 75% of trains at capacity.
That's amazing.
For a train. In a place that doesn't do transit very well.
In 2024.
And then on that same note, there is a separate project. So you got to remember Tri-Rail, which runs on the western tracks of 95. They run from here to West Palm Beach. It's just sort of out of the way. So they're working on building a coastal link that will go from Miami Central along Brightline's tracks, but it's going to be a cheaper, more economic service for commuters. And they are in progress of getting it. It entered the engineering phase. So that will be a big deal because Brightline is sort of like an express. This will be a commuter rail. Same tracks, but just like a cheaper service.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's really crazy.
Filling in.
And then
see everyone, I don't drive. I was ahead of my time between Uber and all this connectivity.
Yeah.
Haha.
And then just another interesting project. So South Miami is doing another mega project also separately to Sunset Place. They're redeveloping their city hall and like governmental, and they're going to do where's it go? It's going to have 670 apartments, 70,000 square feet of civic space, and then a bunch of other retail. But that's separate to the Sunset Place redevelopment, which is like 3 blocks north.
Wow.
So it's not just even the urban core.
That's spreading.
It's the whole thing.
It has to spread.
Oh, I was tweeting about this. I don't know if you saw it, but I had a spicy take on what I think I need to do in the future. Mm-hmm. And I was saying if I was in politics, what I do, but I'm not going to politics, so no one has to worry about it. Is that they need to split.
They'd really want our B-rolls then of what we say before it goes live.
Yeah, I would be canceling before I ever got into the office.
That would be epic.
But I was saying Miami City needs to split Brickell, downtown, and Edgewater into 3 different districts.
Okay.
Because right now there's 2, District 2, and that goes everywhere from Coconut Grove up to like almost to Mimo District.
Oh, that's right.
It's a huge district.
It is huge. It's hard to Coconut Grove, yeah.
And it's one commissioner. Mm-hmm. He's new, Damien, and he's great. I've met him, but it's too big. Mm-hmm. Especially because Brickell and downtown have very different needs, as does Edgewater. So my sort of controversial take was to split it into 3 and do that. Or incorporate Brickell, downtown, Edgewater as a new city. Oh. Like, I'm not sure what it would even be called, but like the city of Miami is so large, and so there's so many different types of people and different setups that like it's hard to really get anything done because the city is so large. It's like a new like urban core city.
Maybe. I don't know how that works.
That'd be extra controversial, and it would never pass any sort of thing. Yeah. But we do need to expand the city commission for sure. Mm-hmm. And it'd be pretty easy. You split it at the river and split it at 395, and you have 3 districts inside 95.
Makes sense.
So that was my.
We need to give Ryan a magic wand to create.
If I was playing like SimCity, I
love it.
That's how it's. I was speaking of SimCity, watching things rise. I don't know if you saw, but I started a live cam of Casabella that's happening over here.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so I do it on YouTube on my personal channel, and you can just watch Casabella rise. You can watch the weather. It's a fun thing.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of people watching it. Was there anything else?
Anything else? I'm just excited.
My World Center. Mm-hmm. I was there yesterday, and the Museum of Ice Cream opened. We still need to go.
Yes, I just heard someone else. Yes, we have to go. I love ice cream. We got to go soon because I have competitions coming, and I'm going to be in like no eating mode for.
So they have it, but I went there, and the line was like around the block. And also, there's a lot more. There's actually a lot popping around Miami World Center right now. You have that. You have Gem Residences coming up.
That's right.
They started site work. The other one next was coming up. Miami World Towers is about to open, finally. I saw them. I was like, oh, It's taking forever. The Apple Store in the middle is
that
coming.
That whole section looks amazing with the Apple Store.
Starbucks and Ray-Ban and Lululemon is all there. But it's like Miami World Center is like one of those like it seems like it's taking absolutely forever, and then all of a sudden it's just like poof.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and then the Club Studio is opening there, which will be it's like a sort of like an Equinox. And then the Container Store is opening. There's gonna be like a Greek yogurt place but it's all like popping now. And I feel like people have been watching my World Center been built for so long. They're like, it's gonna just like appear because everyone's sort of like forgotten about it.
I agree.
So, but no, it's like I said, it's exciting. I'm very optimistic about it, and I don't know. I think that this next year is going to be
I think it's gonna be a big year.
A big year.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think with interest rates starting to come down, you're going to see even more.
It's going to help the market, 100%. This was all done in the face of very high interest rates. I also think with the election over, people will get that out of their minds.
Yes. Yeah, also, I was scootering around like yesterday, and I went to Flagler Street, and every Sunday, Flagler Street now has like this little like sort of swap meet like mini market.
Oh, fun.
It was just nice. It was nice to go there and see like people walking around. It was like very clothing centric. There was a lot of like vintage clothing, but it was just good to see sort of anything happening there. And I think that's important as we go forward, is that we can't repeat what happened with like Brickell in downtown, because when Brickell started, it sort of all the businesses left downtown and went to Brickell. Mm-hmm. So you really have to make sure that you take care of like each of the individual neighborhoods, like make sure they're all rising together and one isn't getting cannibalized by the other. Mm-hmm. So I think that is important.
It's looking good.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see what the quarter today. The quarter closed out today, so I'm gonna have all that information. It's gonna be interesting. Any
other trends that you're just really excited about?
No, I'm just really want to see how this quarter closed out, because I think it's all playing out as I thought it would. We'll see.
do you think So here's a question for you. Based on, have you seen more interest or activity after the rate cuts?
It's too early to tell.
Okay.
There's no data. We'd have to see.
What about like just a feeling? Are people like, okay,
I try not to listen to
that. Okay.
To be completely honest.
You like data.
Well, no, it's because so many times people make things up.
Okay.
For their own reasons.
Yeah.
Good or bad, I don't care, but they make things up. And the less that I listen, because I'll tell you why, because there have been many times in the past where what I see unfolding and then what I predict that will unfold is contrary to what some people say or pretend they feel.
Okay.
And so I don't buy into it at all. The less I hear that, the better.
It's good.
Yeah, because it's noise. And people, especially in real estate, I don't know if it's especially, but people make a whole lot of stuff up. And the proverbial feeling in the air is among such people is not what I would call a primary market force. So I filter it out.
It's funny. I love that. Developers in Miami, all of them. I love when they get really thinking, making things up, really creative with renderings. Mm. It's like my favorite like little pastime.
I like the renderings of buildings that look like they're on an island, but meanwhile, like a moated enclave. Meanwhile, there's like 4 towers within 10 feet of them.
Yeah, it's like,
like, huh?
There's like parkland around it and like yachts,
open views, vistas.
And I'm like, you do realize there's
right there.
There's like a tower like directly in front of you, like
not to be built, already in existence.
My favorite developer does that quite a bit.
Ah, yes.
Oh, speaking of, Baccarat and Viceroy are... Viceroy is a couple floors from topping off, and Baccarat is very much out of the ground, which is exciting because I didn't ever think that project would actually go. Yeah. Too much drama with our archaeologists.
The mummies and so forth.
Archaeologists.
The lost civilization of something.
Lost civilization. But yeah, listen, I think my new favorite neighborhood in the next 5 to 10 years is going to be the Miami River area, from the Brickell Bridge to wherever Shara is doing their thing, whatever that street is, 2nd or 1st Ave. That area has so many projects and so many like mega projects like in the progress. The Miami River Bridge, One River Point, River District, the Baccarat, whatever replaces Riverside that like big blank spot in front of Brickell City Center. There's just so much happening there because River didn't really fill in the last cycle. So I think in the next 10 years, you're going to see that exploding because you have water in front of you. So you're going to have protection. So I think if I had to guess where developers are really going to focus in the next 5-10 years, it's going to be the Miami River. And there's even more happening like farther west by Miami River Landing. They're one of the people there, they're building a short-term one. It was just in the next Miami. They were going to make it multifamily, but then they switched to short-term rentals. And that is far west.
That is far west. It's spreading.
So it's good stuff. I'm excited. And yeah, how's the stuff going with your new project?
Good.
Good? Soon?
It's got time with the quarter.
I'm excited. I can't wait.
I'm very excited too.
I can't wait to see it.
I know.
We'll
hold on to your heads, everyone.
I'm sure we'll be promoting it when it's when it's time. But yeah, all right, guys. Well, thanks for watching, and hope you like this new format. And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye, guys.